to the Arsenal Fantasy channel, and I'm here today as Arsenal have just drawn away to Benfica, the scoreline being 1-1 in the first leg of the Europa League round of 32. Of course, Benfica did go ahead with a penalty after Emil Smith-Rowe did handball the ball in the box, but of course no reds, no yellows, nothing was given, just the penalty, and that was converted in the 55th minute by Pizzi, but Arsenal did get back, instantly with a really good reaction. Bukayo Saka with a goal in the 57th minute, only 2 minutes later. Of course, a brilliant bit of play. Odegaard slotting it through to Cedric, who done a brilliant cross into the box. Saka with a simple tap-in, really. Of course, this was classed as an away game, although it was held in Rome because of the COVID travel restrictions. So we do have an away goal, but we could have had multiple today. I mean, everything was right, I think, except the finishes. I mean, we did have a couple of offsides, about 8 overall when the game finished. But other than that, we did have so many good chances. Let's take one out of the hat. Aubameyang, 5 months ago, he could have had a hat-trick today, honestly. There was a tap-in which my nan probably would have scored. Have no idea how he missed that. There was also a bit where he just looked really hesitant, really. He got the ball one-on-one with the keeper, tried to do some fancy skill, and it was collected by the goalie. Honestly, should have just shot like he done against Leeds United, and that would have been his second goal. And there were at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 other chances he could have converted, giving him the match ball again. But overall, I did predict 2-2, so not too unhappy, but yeah, it's a shame. I mean, it's a bit like that Man United game, isn't it? We went into it hoping for a draw, but now we're coming out of it, although "ow" is probably the word to describe this performance. We for sure could have had that 3 points if it was in the Premier League, or for sure in this instance, we could have just got the win. So very, very annoying. Of course, looking to Arteta and his kind of tactics, he went with exactly the same lineup as he did against Leeds United. Kind of agree with him. I mean, you can't really drop any of those players. They've done so well against Leeds. Although, personally, I would have wanted to see Pepe come in. I wanted to see Martinelli come into the squad. That did happen, but after a couple of substitutions were made. But yeah, overall, if I had to describe the match in 5 words, let's go with painful, but not very painful, if that makes sense. But let's take a look at the lineup and let's go into my kind of player rating. So Leno in goal today, of course, conceded that penalty, but other than that, because it wasn't really his fault, was pretty good, and I'd actually give him an 8 out of 10. I think a solid display. Moving on to the back 4. Of course, that was Cedric, Luiz, Gabriel, and Bellerin. Tierney did not start, unfortunately, but did come on later on into the game. My standout player from that back 4 would probably have to be Gabriel today. Yes, Cedric got that assist, but Bellerin, yeah, nothing much. Luiz, nothing much. And Gabriel, just as always, looks really commanding, really young, speedy. And out of 10 for that whole back 4, I'd give it a solid 7. Of course, Xhaka and Ceballos linked up again in the midfield. My standout player from both of them, Ceballos. I mean, lots of players were underperforming today, and I think Xhaka was one of them. There were 1 or 2 moments in that second half where he really did do well to win the ball back, but then again, you're thinking, should he have lost it in the first place? So Ceballos for me, but out of 10 for both of them, I'm going to go with a solid 7. Of course, there was the 3 of Saka, Odegaard, and Smith-Rowe. My standout player, and again, this is really hard because it's such a good 3, isn't it? I mean, 3 brilliant, young, fast players who do well every single game, but I'm going to have to give this kind of award to Martin Odegaard, his second start for Arsenal. And it was amazing. I mean, he pretty much created that goal, just passed it with a really good one to Cedric, who could just, easily pass it to Saka. And he was brilliant. I mean, he could have had multiple assists. He could have had multiple goals himself as well. And he did get into positions where he had so much space around him, but the players just weren't really noticing him, were kind of ignoring him, and were trying to go the tricky way around, and it just wasn't working, as the scoreline reflects. So out of 10 for all of them, though, I'd give a 8. Pretty good. of course, Smith Rowe, though, unfortunately letting the team down with that handball, though not really his fault at all. And, of course, our lone striker today, Aubameyang, yeah, not good from him, unfortunately. I mean, after that Leeds performance, I was really hoping we'd got our star striker back. But as I said earlier on in this video, if this was Aubameyang 5 months ago, he could have scored a hat-trick, maybe even 4 or 5 goals. So many easy chances that, like I said, I could have scored. My brother could have scored. I can't even speak because of how annoying this was. But overall, out of 10, I'd go with a 5 maybe. Nothing brilliant. And, of course, these substitutes. Sorry, I only do have 3 of them here, but we did have a 4th, and that was Martinelli. The other 3, as you can see on screen, Willian, Tierney, and Elneny. And this is the one thing I really don't like about Arteta. And it's the same mistake over and over and over and over again. We're in these positions, final 20 minutes, we need a goal. Yes, it wasn't as needy as, let's say, the Aston Villa match, but he still done it in that game. And we still didn't, it would have been really good to have a goal. And then he takes off some of our better players, you could say, to bring on Willian and Elneny. Willian and Elneny, the sideways and backward kings. What? I mean, that is the one thing I hate about Arteta, but he just can't give up on these two. For some reason, as bad as they are, and I'm not putting any of this abuse out because we've seen this recently, but please, Arteta, just stop. Fine, put them on the bench, bring them along with you if you want to. But Willian especially, just don't bring him on. When we need a goal, bring on those Martinellis, bring on those Pepes. And I know you did do that in the end, but very annoying. But like I said, there were 2 other subs. They were Pepe and Martinelli. They did have a lot to the game, really, a lot of creativity. Martinelli with his pace and everything. And Tierney did actually come back from that injury, which is brilliant to see. Hopefully he can start against City, maybe. But overall, nothing too good off the bench. If I had to give one of them a kind of man of the match award from that bench, it would maybe be Kieran Tierney. Just, he's coming back from injury and still managed to do really well, better than lots of the players on the pitch. But out of 10, unfortunately, it's going to have to be something like a 5, just because of Willian and Elneny. Those 2 really just keep on letting the side down. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. That really, really, really was a painful game. But we did manage to get through it. We've got an away goal, and that about wraps it up. So make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.